Hi everyone, Steven here at Epicurean Smokes. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a quick unboxing of the Mojgar 35L 250 count humidor. These are one of the more affordable options for thermoelectric humidors available on the market, especially at this capacity. It does a cooling function, it has a double paned glass door, and it's supposed to hold up to 250 cigars. We'll see about that once we get it loaded up. But overall, the pricing on this was the piece that was really hard to refuse. I picked this one up on a sale at $116, so after tax was $132 shipped to my door. So overall, I don't think you can really beat that. There are a lot of plain wood desktop humidors above that price point. So for thermoelectric, that's pretty good. So we have to see what it's about. We're gonna get this opened up and take a look at it and see what we've received. All right, there's some dings and dents and holes on the outside of this box. That always makes me a little nervous when appliances come through that way. So we'll see what potential damage we might be looking at. Oh, well that's nice. So I'm gonna flip the box down so you can see how it comes. There's actually another box inside with these hard corners. So that's pretty reassuring. Hopefully that may mean there's no damage inside. So we got our corners off. All right. Here we go, box number 2. Always a little cautious cutting into the top of boxes. You don't really know what kind of layer there is between you and the appliance. Oh, well that's, again, reassuring. So I'll flip that down so you can see a whole nice layer of styrofoam. So you can be pretty assured that this is probably intact. Go. All right, well that looks good. So can you put the knife away? All right, so I have a very specific space in the studio where I record my reviews, and this specific model, this 35L, has a really unusual shape. So it's really tall and thin, and that fits really specifically the space that I need it to. So that was the main reason why I grabbed this, aside from that great price. The front glass comes with all of that nice protective lining that you can see. So I'm gonna leave that on there till we get it into place. And then inside, we've got some more protective stuff here. Get that out. And the first smell that you get out of this humidor is Spanish cedar. There's a slight plastic odor, but really not much. You hear about that a lot on this type of unit, that there's a strong plastic odor on some of them. And this one, I'm not really getting that. The shelves here actually look like they're solid Spanish cedar. Let's see if I can give you a view of that. You can see that it's a solid piece of wood. So that's always good, a good sign, especially on something that's like a bargain item. This one, I wouldn't expect, you know, really high quality craftsmanship, but it looks to be pretty good actually. The bottom shelf has an analog hygrometer built in there, and inside the bottom shelf you can see that they've included a tray for presumably distilled water. Big old twist tie. holding that together. And choose to use this, but I don't like the idea of leaving a big tray of distilled water inside a thermoelectric or any humidor for that matter. You're just asking for mold, and if you spill it and soak the wood, again, you're just asking for mold. It's just not an ideal way to do things, especially when you can stick a Boveda pack in one of these pretty easily. So what I will end up doing with this is doing a standard seasoning process for a thermoelectric humidor, which will include putting some Boveda packs in there and waiting until the relative humidity is 5% above what I want to keep it at. So I generally run my electric humidors around 65 degrees and 65% relative humidity. I find that my cigars smoke best around that. When I'm using my Humidimeter Pro, that's what I'm looking for. I really like to see that relative humidity 63 to 65% before I'm lighting them up. If I see them in the high 50s, it's gonna smoke harsh. I'm not gonna smoke that. I'll leave it in until it's ready. And if I'm getting something from the shop and it's higher than that range, it's probably going to be too wet. I'm going to have to relight it too much, and so I don't want to do that. So 65 is where I like to be. So I will not be using the standard Boveda seasoning packs. There's no reason for that. I keep a lot of the 72 packs, so I will load this thing up with some Boveda 72% relative humidity packs, wait till it hits around 70 consistently, take them out, throw my 65s in there with some cigars, and be done with it. This should be a really simple process, so that's my hope, and that's what I'll try and do. But this taking up almost a third of that bottom tray as just a risky distilled water situation just doesn't make sense for me. So I will not do that. And in the back of the humidor, there's an instruction manual. I'm going to put all the shelves back in and take this to the studio and get it set up. All right, here we are back in the studio. You can see that the Mojgar 35L has been installed. The controls above have temperature in Fahrenheit and Celsius, so it's easy to switch those. There's the light on and off button, and there's the temperature up and down button to let you adjust to your desired temperature. Of note, when you are removing each tray, the door does need to be open to 180 degrees. So you can see that here. If I have the door open to this level, the trays don't actually come out. So you do need to have a space where you can open the door completely to be able to remove those trays. So, all right, it's time to get this seasoned. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be using the 72% Bovedas with these particular thermoelectric humidors. You don't need to use the Boveda seasoning packs like they would suggest with your desktop humidors. You're just trying to get around 5% relative humidity above whatever you'd like to keep it at. So my choice being to keep this at 65. I need to get around 70% relative humidity before it's ready to use. And that's just to make sure that the cedar trays can soak up some moisture and they don't take that moisture out of my cigars when I put them in. So that's all it is. Do you always have to season a thermoelectric? That's up to you. A lot of people don't think that that's even technically required, especially if you have a humidification system that is included. In this particular model, they just have that distilled water tray. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think that that is helpful. Now, could you use that tray for the seasoning process? You certainly could. It'd probably be a pretty easy way to do the seasoning and a pretty inexpensive way to do the seasoning, to just put some distilled water in that tray and let it acclimate to your desired humidity. It is a pretty expensive thing to do this with Bovedas. I already have these. And so these are the Boveda 320 gram 2A humidification systems that I already have. I keep them in some Ziplocs and stored them away. I'm not using them. I don't have any humidors that require them at this time. So I have 6 of these, which is about $150 worth of these large Bovedas. So I wouldn't recommend anybody go out and purchase this number of 72% Boveda packs, just because it's overkill. But again, because I already have them, I'm just going to go ahead and use them. So here we go. I have an inherent mistrust of the analog hygrometers, and I know many people do. You can calibrate those, and there's a variety of different videos on YouTube with the way that the calibration can be done with salt and water inside of a Ziploc bag. It's not hard to do. I personally am not going to do that. I'm going to leave it right where it sits. It has a good look to it, and that's fine. I will be putting a sensor push in this. I have the sensor push gateway already on my Wi-Fi network, so it's easy. I can check it anywhere in the world, and I can monitor all of my humidors. So that's what I use. I use the sensor push, and so it'll link up with my Wi-Fi network, and it's very easy to use. Overall, I think for the money, this seems to be a very good option. It's very quiet. My studio is a relatively small space, and so anything that is, louder than my purification system, my Rabbit Air, it's not going to work for the space. So I think dollar for dollar, this looks pretty good. I will give you ongoing updates as I continue to use it, but my initial impressions are that for around $100, you can't really beat this for what you're getting. You're getting a thermoelectric humidor that will have consistent temperature levels. It has a fan to circulate. It has a good seal around the glass door. The glass is double paned. It's quiet. So at this price point, I don't really think you're going to beat it. If this fits the space, and you can see here that this is the size that I needed it to be, if it fits your space and fits the capacity that you need, then this is the one to get. So just my 2 cents on this, and as always, I appreciate you watching these reviews. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.